All right. Hey, what's up, world? It's your boy DJ Mann.
I am New Soul.
And this is DJ Mann's podcast, man, right here on DJ Mann TV. And we have two guests, man. You want to introduce yourself? We start off with you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mary Kenna. I'm a holistic practitioner, owner of Bible Herbal and Cleansing Store, and also a mental health, counselor for the kids here in Beaumont, Texas.
Cool. And who else we have?
I'm Vicky. I don't have a official title.
You just all that.
I'm just me.
Okay. Okay, well, there it is. I thought you did like life coaching or something.
Yes, I am a life coach. Just I've been doing all this pro bono work
Okay.
for all my friends and family.
What's up, Tayo? We got my boy Tayo back in the building.
What's happening, Tayo?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like in order to get out of pimping, bro, you could say you're just a life coach. You just point people in the right direction.
Right. And that's really what I do. I would say all the time, every day.
Hey, what's up, HBR? We good, man. But look, before we get into everything, bro, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors. We can get it up.
Sir.
Yeah, man. So we got Old West Smoke Company, man, right here in the 409, man. The number is 409-782-9030. Some of the best briskets in the area, man. Make sure y'all check out Old West Smoke Company. Tell them DJ Mann TV sent you. You feel me? And they're going to hook you up, man. They got briskets on everything. Nachos, fries.
That sounds good, too.
All that.
Brisket fries.
Yeah.
Good little queso on top.
Tayo say you being modest. Talking about Vicky.
Oh.
Yeah, he say you being modest,
Yes, I know to stay humble. Humble don't stumble.
Already. Hey, man, so I know we went over some of the topics. I gave you some of the topics, but me and New Soul was actually looking at this. What is it? What is the missile thing, bro?
Oh, hold on. Let me go to my notes.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Yeah.
He say, do you ship?
Talking about Vicky?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do I ship?
Yeah.
Ship what?
I don't know. He wants you to ship something. And what you want, HBR, what you wanted to ship, bro? Let her know. How tall you is, Tank? Hey.
Well, I'm sitting here like,
I don't know.
Hey, his name Tank.
The man named Tank, you heard me?
You might not want to ask for no shipping because he going to come with the handling.
Hey, they wanted to do they ship brisket.
Oh,
Okay.
Nobody here makes brisket, bro.
No, he was talking about Old West Smoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, could he get a 2 piece of the biscuit instead of brisket?
And Tank full of that yak right now.
Real
too,
talk. Sipping a big old cup of Crown right now.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to. Hey, my fault. I misunderstood the question. I was trying to save you, brother.
Real talk.
I was trying to save you.
Because you said, do you ship? So we think you talking to somebody on the panel.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that was scary for us.
A little bit. It was touch and go for a second.
Yeah, man.
This is going to be a very different podcast. Exhibit A in the court of law.
The missile thing.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran all have nuclear missiles now, and they all hate America. Iran and China have hypersonic missiles, which can't be good for America because we have nothing of the sort.
Yes. So what do y'all think about that, man? Iran, China, Russia, North Korea all have hypersonic missiles with nuclear tips, right? And they all hate America. You feel me? What do y'all think about that? I personally feel like, old Sleepy Joe is sleeping on the job again.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like Joe, what in the world is you doing?
I agree.
I hate to say it, but Trump wouldn't have went for that.
Oh,
Nah, but he would have also acted rash. Though.
But I want to say this also. No other president would have went for that.
Nah, but Obama would have been a little more calculated than Trump would have been. Trump would have been a little, erratic.
Like, yeah.
Tayo says the missiles aren't the issue. Explain for me, Tayo. Let us know why the missiles
on that.
Because I don't like the way that look or sound.
Neither do I.
The old man's not a button to go out and blaze the glory. I guess. It's the people behind the button. Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah, that's very true.
But the people behind the button don't like us though.
Yeah. And look, so this is my thing, and maybe I'm thinking a little too hard on this, right? But y'all, panel, y'all can weigh in on this.
For sure.
If America decided that we need to take Iran to war because they have weapons of mass destruction, wouldn't that be something that you could understand? Like, I get that. Yes,
Just
no.
unprovoked?
Right. Like, do they have a reason to have
Well, look at it like this. Russia is getting drones from Iran to fight against Russia's getting drones from Iran to fight against Ukraine. Right? China is also helping Russia.
Mm-hmm.
North Korea is friends with Russia. Doesn't it seem like this all?
Yeah.
They all in cahoots with each other?
All of this spells horrible for us.
So as a president, as a country, how long do you wait to move?
You don't wait.
You
You're not
don't.
supposed to wait.
You don't.
Yeah.
It's a reason why as soon as like you even, get a whiff of this, y'all start making plans.
That's right.
Just because we don't see what they're doing doesn't mean no action's being taken. I mean, they could be keeping it silent just to not invoke a panic,
Technically, let's see.
Things happen.
HBR said technically we are in war with Russia because we are funding Ukraine.
That's
exactly. It means that we're on the other side of the fence, right? So we see
so the warheads kind of make sense now.
You feel me? So it seems like they're in cahoots and we're on the opposite side of the fence and our enemies are starting to rally, right? So it would make sense to make a move
To be proactive.
be proactive, right?
Be proactive, yeah.
Here's my question to everybody. And maybe I'm thinking a little too hard on this. But wouldn't it, I don't know, when I see stuff like this and I see the whole country like, yeah, we need to take this out, we need to do that and do that. But then they be so hard on hating black on black crime.
Right.
But it's really the same thing. You feel me? We're fighting for resources because we have none. And then what do you do when the enemy is down the street from you and you know that, hey,
right.
When he see you, is on sight.
Yeah.
Right.
And if he don't see you, your closest relative just might get it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you go and snitch, now the whole neighborhood is against you. It's unsafe for you and your people to go to the store.
It sounds like an episode of Power.
It does.
So what do you do? If you can understand defending yourself against Russia, Ukraine,
Right.
I mean Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, why can't you understand when it's at home?
Right. It always goes back to survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Very true.
That is true.
Look, Teo says, China, Russia, and North Korea are allies.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, Ben. Yeah.
Exactly. So look, I'm not condoning violence. I'm just merely posing a question. If you can understand that, you know what I'm saying, why can't you understand, like, when you really look at it, bro, it's like you put in a situation where you lack resources, you lack, the things that you need to be out of this situation, right? So you're around people where pain and hatred flows heavily, and hurt people. There's a lack of resources, so now you're just trying to survive. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen then?
Something that we haven't mentioned yet that will probably make this worse. China owns a lot of our debt.
Yes, I thought about that also.
A lot of our debt, like it's over 50%. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, is that much?
Way over 50%, dude.
I didn't know that.
Dude, think about it. All of our materials are made in China.
Yes, yeah.
Everything you
I didn't know that debt market.
Metals, like paper, plastic. You flip it over, made in
electronics.
China. Yeah.
Yes, especially electronics.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it. Ain't nobody gonna open up a sweatshop here in the U.S. That ain't happening.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So you use the labor that you got, but we owe them a lot of money. So. This is not good. This is.
HBR said China owns us.
Yeah, we don't have no business getting in a war with them at all.
They know this too.
We're not gonna survive.
They know this.
Yeah, I know they know this, and I hope Biden know it.
He ain't gonna be there too much longer. If they could just wait 2 more years, he's gonna be out of there. I don't know who's gonna be in.
If it's Trump, bro, we.
Look, y'all know me, bro. I believe in the Bible.
Amen.
So whoever's in office, it's not going to get any better.
No.
You feel me? Yeah, it's definitely going to get worse. So for people that feel like Trump is the answer, it's only going to get worse. Like, I don't care who you put in the office, bro. It's going to get worse because the Bible has to fulfill itself. That's right.
Especially with the state of politics right now, because like
there is no good choice to pick from.
Nah, it's always a lesser of the two. It's always kind of been that, a lesser of the two evils. But right now, like everyone in politics is having a dick measuring contest. So it's like,
there's little girls out there.
I apologize. It's okay. I completely forgot there was children in the hallway.
I seen the shooting. I was like, that.
There were minors present. But man, like, right now, like, there's no cohesion, in the White House. And, you even got people in the same party arguing with each other.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's no cohesion amongst the country. The citizens
everything is so divisive.
Isn't that how great civilizations have failed?
Yeah. Every great civilization has fallen because of divisiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
As soon as a country begins to pull apart, as soon as any regime begins to pull apart, there goes the economy, there goes the government, there goes the infrastructure.
That's a great
segue.
segue.
That the U.S. is too arrogant. They keep thinking we're the best and everything when
we're not.
Really not.
We haven't been the best in a long
time. We have the most poorest people in this country.
The least educated, the least motivated.
Yes.
The least help, the health care, everything.
True.
And
we're so arrogant.
Yes. Very true. Totally agree.
So you'll say because the U.S. was never intended to have party systems. Okay. Well, divisiveness and stuff, man. That kind of goes into our next segment. What do y'all think is responsible for this whole black men versus black women thing kind of going on?
Lack of accountability on both sides.
Accountability?
Lack of accountability on both sides.
Lack of transparency.
Deep-rooted trauma.
Yes.
That too.
All that. Yes.
But what do you think it comes from?
Childhood.
Where does any trauma come from?
Yeah.
Childhood.
That's a big one.
Childhood.
How you were raised,
And a lot of it's passed down. It's learned behavior. A lot of what ends up happening to us, it doesn't really start with us. It starts with the people who came before us, and they just kind of pass down a certain way of thinking. Once we adopt that certain way of thinking, we adopt their same flaws, their same mistakes, and we start making them. And it's an endless cycle, And then what's crazy is right now, social media is doing a really good job at identifying these cycles. However, we are doing a piss poor job at breaking them.
Yes.
Right.
We all know that, the whole getting my lick back mentality does not work at all. We know that, among men and women, among anything.
Bro, man, people believe in that. And
they do.
Right.
You do everything except leave.
Right. And that's why there's more divorces now than marriages.
Yeah.
Because of that mind frame right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the divorce rate is starting to go down because people aren't getting married anymore.
That's true.
Which is a sad part, though.
Very sad.
Yeah, but that's where it's...
But it's slim pickings, though.
This is why I say the media propaganda is the cause behind a lot of it, right? Yeah. Because one of the earlier episodes, we talked about women not being in relationships or something like that. But you see how they make it divided?
Yeah.
Like the women aren't getting in relationships. Well, if they're not getting in relationships, then what about the men?
You have relationships with other men.
And women having relationships with other women.
Come on.
Let's be real.
I don't think that's it. I think it's because
it's part of it. It adds to it.
I think it's more so that now it's like you have these different genders all of a sudden. So it's like, what do you rate them as?
That's true.
You got non-binary people. What do you rate them as then?
And who do you put them in relationships with?
Exactly. Then you got transgenders. Okay, they was a man, now they're a woman. They was a woman, now they're a man. What do you?
Or vice versa.
You feel me?
You know what I mean?
So it's like they leave out information and they make it us versus them thing. And it's like it's so much in between in the gray area. Like, why we don't talk about that? Right. Because you know why? The same reason why Kyrie Irving can't talk about where he feel like we really come from.
Right.
That's why you don't want to offend those people.
Yeah.
So and that's another thing, bro. They have no problem with offending us.
Oh, Never. But we can't offend.
But you got to remember though, like
Jews or anyone else.
Like the deeply rooted hatred for the black man and the black woman, like it's as American as
Apple pie.
Yeah.
It's so much a part of the system. Not even the system, really. It's so much a part of the identity of America that like it's hard to get rid of, And even if you're progressive minded, like if you see something offensive, if you acknowledge it and apologize and move on, you think you've done your job, But there's no what they call sensitivity training when it comes to offending black people. Mm-hmm. There's no one saying, hey, you got to make a donation to this cause. Mm-hmm. You have to sit down with this leader or that leader. Number one, who you going to sit down with? We ain't got no leaders.
At all.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's the issue.
That's
like
real.
The leaders that we have now are Dr. Umar Johnson, Tariq Lee, and all these other people who are always at each other's throats. I've never thought I would see the day when I would see two black people who claim to be so much for black people, but they going at each other's throats like rappers. You know what I mean? Like you would never see, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had their problems, but like they would never publicly go like at each other's throats.
That's right.
You feel me? Like there was no such thing as a Twitter beef back in the 60s.
Right. That's right.
You feel me? But like you got the leaders that we have now, everyone wants to be that guy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like no one is thinking in terms of what Stokely Carmichael was doing with the Black Panthers. I don't want to be a part of your cause directly, but I will definitely be there to support you.
Right.
You feel me? Like we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough of, I don't want to be the main guy, but I'll definitely be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's the mindset that's lost.
No unity. Everyone's competing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Everybody wants to be a chief.
Open Mike says, I'm a white dude, and I would argue that men on women violence is across all races.
It is.
Cultures and religions.
We're not really talking about violence, though.
Yeah.
That's why I smile when I read. I'm like, I'm not really talking about violence.
Right.
I'm just talking about the mindset of separation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't need you. We're the only ones with the mindset of I don't need you.
Yeah, and that's a foolish mentality to have because yes, we do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And it's in Sun Tzu's Art of War. You want to break a people, start at the home.
Well, then when you say we say I don't need you, you're talking from what, a male perspective or a female perspective?
It's both.
I've heard both.
Okay.
Yeah, both.
I've heard both.
Okay.
And I think it's ignorant. I check it every time I hear it, bro. I'm like, bro, you gotta stop. That's ignorant, man.
I don't agree. I think if women and men don't need each other, then wouldn't this whole race just die out?
Yeah, you feel me?
Right.
And that goes back to propaganda.
Right, because that's how it was. We were conditioned. The first thing they did in slavery was separate the men from the families.
Yes.
Yep.
And then with welfare, we don't need the men because the government will take care.
You have to break the foundation first.
My boy Teo says the subculture within Black America that is toxic needs broken mentalities can't do anything, no matter how many resources or strong groups you provide.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. I can get with that. But look, here's my theory. I believe, and I said this before on the podcast, I believe that the issue in the Black community started in the crack era and we never recovered from it. I think in the crack era, young Black men that were my big cousins and uncles, they got a whole bunch of money. They was throwing parties, the Kappa, the Freaknik, and guess what? They had women coming from all over the country coming to these parties that was knocking them up, that was going back, they having babies, they don't know who the father is. We don't care about being a father at that point because we young kids with money, and guess what? Then you find out that there's repercussions from having all this money. Now you're getting locked up. You're doing 25, 30 years going away from your kids. Mm-hmm. So there's no fathers, there's no leaders, and we go to a mindset of get to the money, get to the money, get to the money. Now you're not successful unless you get into the money. Yeah. Well, we got these young mamas, they still young, so they got men coming in and out. The son seeing the mother dealing with all these different dudes. Yep. She getting dogged by these dudes because she's still young. She making mistakes. She don't even understand that her decisions are the cause for some of her mistakes. So the son, he lessened his value in women because it's like, I can understand mama or a girl having a bunch of different partners because, that's what women do. That's what mama did. And then you got the daughter, she looking at the same situation like, that'll never happen to me. I'm not letting no man treat me like this. I'm not. So the son, he's weakening, but the little girl is strengthening or becoming more harder.
Right.
So now that's why you have these young men running around with these weak or these female emotions. They are very emotional. That's why they're so quick to kill somebody and then be crying.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like back when I was young, coming up, when you did something, you knew exactly how much time you was gonna get for that crime, and you hadn't already processed it in your head. Like, bro, hey, you riding around with a 5 to 10. You knew it. It's like, hey, it is what it is. So you didn't hear about a whole bunch of snitching and stuff going on. Nowadays, man, they just doing stuff off of emotion and then be crying. Like, you ever seen guys cry to each other? These niggas, these guys be high crying to each other. That's my brother. Man, like, bro, like I don't understand these little dudes, bro.
I would go to argue though, going back to your point that it started in the 80s with the crack epidemic.
Facts.
I think it would go back a little further than that with the Vietnam War. You know, because with the introduction of heroin in our community, like you have like essentially what happened in the crack era. It happened at a way lesser rate, you know what I'm saying? But it still happened though. Like the fathers were removed from the homes, and children growing up without the fathers, and then like they're forced to be like, well, I can't go to school because right now we ain't bringing no money in. You know, my mama not making enough because back in those days, they didn't have the high paying jobs for women that they do now. So like, you know, dudes quitting their jobs at like, quitting school at like 14, 15, 16 years old, but they got to take care of home.
Gotta make a way.
You know what I'm saying? They got to earn a living.
But even then, our mindset was still, that's my brother. When I used to hear my daddy and his friends like communicate with each other, they refer to each other as brother.
Yeah, and I agree.
We refer to each other as nigga. Like,
that's true.
You feel me?
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. The way that we looked at each other and handled each other was just different.
Yeah. But I think that the series of events was set in motion at that time.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
It just progressively got worse.
It progressively got worse. But I think that the plan was already set in motion at that time because you got to remember the Vietnam War happened right after the Civil Rights Movement had ended. You know what I'm saying? By now, MLK's dead. Malcolm is dead. Yeah. And, you know, I'm pretty sure there was a few meetings where they got together and was like, we can never let this happen again. We almost lost control. You know what I'm saying? Like the white infrastructure that we have set up that was protecting our interests, you know, was almost compromised because, you know, Malcolm was way too powerful. We had to kill him in 65. And MLK was way too powerful because, you know, he was actually causing cohesion between the NOI and his cause. You know what I'm saying? So like that was too powerful. Got to end his life. You feel me? So after they're gone, the Black Panther Party was neutralized. You got the Vietnam War going on, introduction to heroin. Now you have set in motion a series of events that will trickle down to the crack epidemic.
Well, my question for you is, you know, you deal with mental health. So do you feel like people in the hood, right, deal with what is it called? PTSD?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Even with trauma that didn't happen to us directly.
Right.
And most of that trauma is, it's around money, financial.
Right.
When you grow up poor, you don't have the same privileges as other people who have money, right?
Or the same opportunities.
So, exactly. So it stems from that. And that's why when they get older, they have that mindset of, you know, oh, you owe me. Or who are you? You know, I'm going to kill you. Or they're going to steal to get it.
Right.
So there's no love.
That's it right there. No love. Because, man, you know what it's like when you know, you got bills due, family got to be fed, and somebody playing with your money.
You mad?
$20 ain't even $20 no more. That's my stomach touching my back. Yeah, that's food on my family plate.
You holding out on me on my 20s, like standing between me being able to feed my family. And I ain't gonna tolerate.
But then when you see it on the news, they're like, you kill that man over $20.
Right.
Yeah.
And like to us, it sounds like, man,
it sounds
really?
crazy.
But then, like when you in that moment, when you reach that level of desperation, you don't know what you would do.
That's right.
That's all I be trying to tell people, bro. When they talk about black on black violence, I'm like, man, like look into this black on black violence and see when you look at the whole scenario, it's never what they paint the picture of on the news. Right. It's always something deeper, bro.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
Look, I got what I'm saying is in Chicago, they had a mother, she was burying her son, and the people went in and shot the brother in the funeral. Right on the side of the mother. They shot him right on the side of. As a little brother looking at that, how does hatred not grow?
That's true.
Right.
You watching your mother bury a sibling of yours, and then another one get killed right in front of y'all, and you seeing what she going through, and you know the people that did it.
This is done by the same race, right?
Yeah, same
Right.
And you know,
so it's like, how do I look at you as a brother now?
You can't.
and that adds to the trauma.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't.
Because even if that didn't happen to your family, if you're in that funeral and you watching this,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like you're thinking, man, ain't nobody safe. You know what I'm saying? Like this is supposed to be a house of holiness, and we up in here worried about somebody shooting us up.
Yeah.
You know, and even though they targeting one person, you know what I'm saying? Like that's still instilling that
the
fear.
way to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Like that's the only solution.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Can-
normalized.
Can we dispel this black on black violence thing though? Because
Yeah, come on.
white people kill each other too. Asian people kill each other too. You know what I'm saying? Any race of people is going to have violence within each other. We're the only people that it becomes a whole different category.
Well, it's kind of like the whole White Lives Matter. They bring up black on black violence so they will shut up about white police officers killing black people.
Mm-hmm.
But why are y'all complaining about that? Y'all killing each other.
Exactly.
But
So that's why it's
Overweight
an
dumber
issue.
shit.
But with us, we hate each other that much out of spite,
Mm-hmm.
jealousy. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
There's white on white, there's Hispanic, Chinese. They don't know how to work together though. At the end of the day, they work together. Us, we don't do that.
That's true.
That's the reason
We
why.
don't do that.
That's the reason why I always say black on black violence, right? Because I understand that there's a reason. I understand that it's misleading. But I say it because if you don't like how it sounds, then can we stop? Like you can always
I
say,
agree.
well, they do this and they do that, but we ain't talking about them. We talking about us.
That's right. Facts.
I just think
And then my thing is, if we talking, like I say, man, like I believe in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we talking Bible, the Bible says charity starts at home and then spread abroad.
Yeah.
What in the world we look like trying to help everything else, and we got issues at home? What are we doing at home, bro?
I said it once, I said 1,000 times. We are the only race of people that will spend money outside of our own community before we spend it on our
All
own
day.
community.
It's been that way.
Like, do y'all know how much we spent outside of our community last year? $1.2 trillion.
So
Half of y'all wonder like where the money even came from. You know what I'm saying? But we'll spend money on Fendi, Louis, Prada all day long.
Yes.
How many of y'all even still buying Carl Canal right now? How many of y'all even knew Carl Canal was still in business? How many of y'all knew that Fat Farm was still in business? Sean John still in business. And these are brands.
Didn't Sean John get sold?
Did he still doing Sean John? Do he rolled out a whole little
I didn't know.
Yeah. This was earlier this year.
Bro, I got on Echo. Okay. I didn't know about
Well, I
Sean
have my
John.
Telfar bag. I have my Telfar. Black luxury label.
I got on Echo and I got on Walmart clothing.
Right now, look.
Telfar. Beyonce
All right.
endorsed it.
Okay.
I'm rocking my own brand right now. Poetry in Motion clothing. Go get that. You know what I'm saying? We support black owned around here. But like, I'm serious though. Like, we're spending so much money outside of our community, but we don't really understand that there are so many other black owned brands that high quality, they look good, but we'll judge each other for, you wearing Sean John? They ain't wearing Sean John.
So let's be
No,
honest.
they want to be accepted by Europeans.
But no,
That's what it is.
Why is it always a standard? I hate them.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But we don't want to see our black people
Thanks,
do better
Joy.
than us.
That's another thing.
And that's crazy.
We don't want to see our black people do better than us.
That's another
the
thing.
problem.
We are the only race that
That's
we
too much
big
of
up
it.
everybody.
Yeah.
Like, y'all ain't up on this shit here. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Right.
even touch this shit.
But you know why?
Right.
You know why? Because we don't have value in each other.
Mm-mm.
We don't have value in each other or our environment, right? Our community. So what we do is we try to attach to what else on the outside looks successful.
Mhm.
So we can say, I'm part of this over here.
Mhm.
Meaning I'm not with y'all.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm better than that.
That's right.
But that's because you have insecurities that you're dealing with.
Right.
Because me personally, I tell people all the time, I'd be proud to be from the hood. Because when I was coming up in the hood, we had black-owned businesses in the hood.
Mhm.
When I was coming up in the hood, we looked out for each other. I remember a time, I said this before, man. I remember a time when the police tried to come in the neighborhood to arrest the guy. They had to stop right there on Magnolia and Isla, and they had to talk with the elders about looking for the dude. They said that they would have him turn himself in. The police officer said, okay, if we got to come back in here, we coming in the neighborhood. That's how it went. They just didn't go into a wrecking shop, you know what I'm saying, doing all this reckless stuff. You ain't hear about all them cop killings and stuff way back then.
Yeah.
Because the elders made sure, like, hey, if you did something, you got to stand on it.
Right.
We need to go back to that mentality, that gatekeeper mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there was the system in place, like as you said, you know, and we have no idea where it went, but I think it's a lack of leadership.
Joy say it starts inside of you. Facts. It does start inside of you because, hey, what you think about, you bring about, man. Right. And, you know, like minds find each other. You feel me? So,
and while it starts there, but it can't end there, though. You got to at least bring it to your brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts.
That's the only way that you can end this mentality. We got to stop this whole, like, I'm going to just do for myself.
It goes back to charity starts at home. When they talk about at home, it ain't just talking about in the house. It's talking about in home, in you. You got to start in you and then spread the bro. So she's right. You got to start on yourself first. But Michael Jackson said, you got to start with the man in the mirror.
Yeah. That's right.
You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get to the next one, man.
Let's do it.
Let's see what we got next. She said, hey, man, DJ. Get my lick back mentality.
Cheating. Y'all do everything believe, huh?
That's crazy to me too. I never understood that.
It's so simple and it's peaceful too.
Right, because you're not gonna feel any better if you get your lick back
at all.
I just feel dirty.
You really not. That's why I don't believe in matching energy. Like maintain your energy. If it comes to the point where you gotta change your energy,
I was
that
about
means
to say,
it's
with
time
my
to
back up, bro.
No, I'm over it. My bad.
Don't you with my back up, bro?
I mean, I couldn't go this way, you know.
Yeah, go that way.
I know you.
That's horrible.
I could apologize to you, man.
If you wasn't here, he would have sneezed all over.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have.
I'm just saying I'm just saying how I feel.
Lord.
That's the black man throwing the black man under the bus again.
Yeah, it is.
I just want to see my nigga Tank get live on somebody.
On me?
I'm just chilling, man. I had so much to say, but I just chilled out, man.
Nah, you good, bro. You good, man.
Chime in, man, if you got something.
I told you, yeah, you can chime in, bro.
Well, my thing is like just a recap of what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all don't know me, y'all can't see me as Tank TANK, you know, but so far as what's going on with Russia, China, and UK and all this other stuff, yeah, I do believe that we are putting ourselves under the fire. But we do have a Patriot missile, right? So the Patriot missile is a missile that intercepts other missiles that's coming our way, but it would be over waterways that we really don't want to affect.
Yeah.
That's why I'm at, right? But I'd rather affect the water than affect human lives, right? So we do have a Patriot missile that can actually intercept another missile.
But it says that the what is it called? The hypersonic missile?
Yeah, the hypersonic
They say it's not detected by the Patriot missile.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's deep.
They get the sci-fi on niggas,
and then it has a projectile on the end, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can Google it if y'all want to, but I believe like it's the body of the missile, but then it's like a arrowhead, and you know that shoots off also. It's separated. But check it out. They said it went around. This is what they saying. It went around the world, and then China was able to
bring it back?
No, send it somewhere else. They redirected it.
Oh wow!
Did you see that on the video I sent you? Yeah,
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
I was doing something earlier, bro.
They were doing a lot of tests.
Wait, you ain't seen the video?
Yeah,
they didn't have.
Where?
They had a lot of test launches going on, and they weren't able to actually reach the U.S. So I'm not sure about that. That's something I would actually have to go Google and read about a little bit. But that is interesting. So far as us as black people, they are 100% correct. We sit here and we talk about the police beating up on us, but we never talk about genocide. We never talk about us beating on each other, us killing each other for $1. But the only problem is that if you come up in poverty and that's the only thing you know, and it's the only thing you see, it becomes an instilled behavior.
Yeah.
So when you look at these instilled behaviors that's put on us so far as people, we sit here and we look at every other race as someone to be a role model to us instead of the man being a role model inside the house. Yeah. You don't have to be in the house to be a role model. Be a man. Stand up.
Facts.
You know, I mean, like, be a man. Take care of your business. There's so many people that don't do what they need to do because they're so hate. They got so much hatred going towards the person they was with that they forget about what's the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So the kids are the bigger picture in the whole situation. Don't take away from your kids because you and him didn't get along, or you and her and him didn't get along.
That's right.
Like do what's supposed to be done.
Yeah, facts.
Preach.
And the thing is that the boys today are seeing their moms. They touched on this. They seeing their moms bring different dudes in, and different dudes out the house every day. So that's what they start doing, and then they actually hanging out with the mom everywhere they go because the dad's not inside the picture.
Yeah. The mom is calling them their king.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all that.
That's fine.
All that.
That's fine.
Yo,
It's true though.
Every girl is a king.
It's
Every
true.
black man, every girl is a king. Every black man is a king.
Not a king, her king. That's the problem.
But my thing is that when you sit here and you bring in this little boy to the beauty shop and you bring him to the nail shop and you got around all your friends and all this other stuff, that's what he's starting to see every day. These are instilled behaviors. So he's starting to think that's fine.
That's right.
No, it's not fine. Let him go out with his dad and go spend time so he can try to become a man because the man needs to be a role model. Superman's not a role model.
Nope.
Batman's not a role model. A black man inside of a household, a black man taking care of his kids is a role model.
Yeah. As a black kid, you look at that and say, like, that's something I want to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not present, you go off to the next thing that looks like success.
Yeah.
When you see a dad get up and go to work every day and take care of the business, the kid is going to start turning out like the dad because he's going to start seeing what the dad does. If a girl sit there and she see her mom take care of everything, all the house issues that's going on, I'm not saying that a woman's supposed to take care of the house in that sense, but when she see those feminine qualities, she starts to take on those feminine qualities.
Yeah.
She's not like, I don't need a man to do this here and to do that. Like, honestly, I have a different belief. So far as the needing and the wanting thing, when you get older, when you go through things, you should actually want a person in your life. You shouldn't need a person in your life, but it's good to have somebody in your life that actually understands you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's biblical. And that's the truth. You should want a person.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to need a person.
Yeah.
All we need is him. But I like what you said. I'm old school. Women want to debate about the word submissive. I believe, of course, the man should be the head, right? As women, we are the neck, correct?
Yes.
So if your man's being the head of your household, you are married, you are one. Being submissive to your husband should never be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If my man is working, providing for home, and he wants to eat some pancakes at 3 in the morning, I'm gonna make him some pancakes.
That's what made me want to get married right there. That did look, bro. True story. I come off the road from Houston at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I got my cousin with me. I didn't even tell. She was my girlfriend at the time. We wasn't even married, but I didn't even tell her that he was coming. You know what I'm saying? We go to the apartment, man, and I'm thinking she gonna trip. Man, she like, you hungry? You need this, you need that. And I'm like, what is this? Like, bro, this is a setup? You feel me? Like,
it's a trick question.
You're gonna hold it over your head, but it shouldn't be that.
It never was, bro.
And that's one thing, like, I know y'all can't see me, but I gotta say this about Vicky. If I ask her to do something for me, she's all in to actually knock it down. That's why we actually knock stuff out together, because she actually stands up and try to help me out in different.
No, talk your talk.
Tank.
Hey, let it be known who Vicky is, because next time she get on Facebook being something else, I'm gonna make that snippet and be like, nah, you fix pancakes at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what it is.
I let her do it on every social platform. I don't time it.
No, man. I mess with her all the time, bro.
Facebook comedian, but I will put something out there to start something. But anything my man asks me to do, have I ever told you no?
You have, but it's about my new stuff.
About my new stuff. Okay, but anything he needs, I mean, it's whatever. And
that's why I root for y'all, bro. I love what y'all got going on. You feel me? Straight up. Shout out to them, man. And they got a YouTube channel. What's the YouTube channel?
We do is Tank and Vicky Uncensored. We've
been slacking.
We've been slacking, but we have some content coming. We have already edited videos. We're gonna get some more content out. We're actually going out of town next week, and we're gonna vlog all of that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Subscribe, click the bell.
Tank and Vicky Uncensored.
We'll actually do something when we get back to for the people that have been out of school for a minute.
Already.
Oh yes. Oh
What's
yeah.
up?
My reunion is coming up. Yes. But Tank and Vicky Uncensored. VIKKI.
Awesome.
Facts.
But
All right, we can go on to the next one, man.
To the next one.
Here we go. Should we hold celebs to a standard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're in a position where you're influencing not just kids, but you're also influencing adults.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just as many, 14-year-olds as there are 20-year-olds out here being influenced by these celebrities.
That's right.
Like we talked about earlier, there's not a lot of leadership going on in the Black community right now. So we're looking at the people who are willing to be political with their platforms, which I salute those people.
That's right.
People like right now he's on the fire right now, but I salute Kyrie Irving, I salute LeBron James, for what they're doing. Cardi B, I'm saluting anybody.
What Cardi B doing?
Oh,
I'm lost.
Very, very political. Like,
she's on fire.
yes,
Yeah.
she
I
actually.
don't know.
Like real talk.
I mean, like, while.
Don't forget Colin, man.
Colin Kaepernick. Hey, hold on.
Oh,
Colin Kaepernick gave up his whole livelihood.
Yes.
He went Muhammad Ali on everybody.
Yeah.
You feel me?
He really did. But no, Cardi is really active. She's really talked to like almost every candidate back in the election on her Instagram.
I
She
didn't
was
know that.
I did.
Bernie.
I did see that.
Right.
That was the last election. Well,
The
when,
last one.
yeah, when
Yeah, I
Biden
saw
got elected.
support for Bernie for sure. Yeah.
But then she was like still, and I want to say her and Candace had some back and forth at one point.
They always
Candace
have.
got back and forth with
Yes,
everybody.
yes. But she chimes in and she's very vocal.
But Cardi is very transparent too.
Yes,
Extremely so.
but she's had so much growth.
Yes.
Like and I'm sorry for the barbs, while Nikki is online arguing with someone younger than me, her daughter, Lotto. Yeah, Cardi is like actually like speaking on
Nikki,
real.
I like Nikki
issues.
as an artist.
Yeah,
but
stick to being an artist.
I told my wife this when I very first seen who Nicki Minaj was, right? I just got a vibe from her, bro. I'm like, I don't think we would vibe around each other. You feel me? Like, I don't feel like as much success that she has, I don't feel like she's I don't feel like she not values herself, but she don't hold herself in high regard. Her self-esteem is low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyone with a high self-esteem is going to applaud someone else.
Yeah, you don't have to do all that bashing.
She's bashing. She's arguing with others. Like she's got into with everybody.
Very combative.
Very combative.
She's a mean
like you're Nicki Minaj. You don't have to go back and forth with these people. And I hate to keep comparing, but Beyonce is not about to be adding anybody else on Twitter. But Nicki,
that's somebody else too.
That's another.
Beyonce is very political. Like I was watching her Homecoming, and like the stuff that she put in her Coachella show, extremely heavy. Like, okay, it's one thing to just be surface level with it. It's a lot of people who pull.
Tommy, you crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like they'll pull quotes from MLK or somebody like, a real popular quote, the I have a dream speech or something like that. It'll be real subtle. Be like, okay, here y'all go, I'll throw y'all a bone. But like Beyonce is throwing in like jewels, gems, stuff that really would impact like a whole generation of people. I'm glad she did it on one of the biggest stages in America, by the way. And then they put it on Netflix for everybody to see. So shout out to Beyonce for what she's doing. Shout out to Cardi for what she's doing.
Here's my thing about holding celebs to a standard. As much as I'm for it, I just feel like it's unrealistic. Because because standards. It's like, how can y'all tell you that your standards is wrong? Like you were raised up one way, I was raised up another way. He probably raised up a whole nother way. Yeah. It's like we're not gonna always agree on standards.
We're not.
So it's like for Cardi B to say something, and I'm like, bro, that's wrong. A lot of other people might feel like that's right. So it goes back to, what are you teaching in your household? And you got to make sure that your household is living up to.
It needs to start at the home.
Right. That's it. Because you can't really control.
Somebody else shouldn't be your children's role model.
But still, we should also go with the mind for what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
That's very true.
But what you might think is right, somebody might not feel like that's right.
But with celebrities, they may think they don't have to do anything because they're celebrities.
Like Charles Barkley.
They're excused.
Yeah. No, that wasn't a bar, but Charles Barkley, he said it's real. Like, I ain't no role model. Don't look at me. You know what I'm saying? But
I can respect that because
I can
put it out there on the table. Let you know.
Right.
I can respect it because he tells you straight up, "Don't look at me. I'm not your role model. Your mama's your role model. Your teacher your role model."
And a lot of them have said that, you know, and you need to monitor what your children are watching. I have 2 daughters, and I can say this, and I know they would agree. A celebrity has never been their role model.
You can't really say it to this day and age because you got this device in your hand.
And that's all you're looking at.
You have a device in your hand that's a miniature computer, so you can access anything that you want this day and age right now. So when you look at things saying that I'm not a role model, yeah, you really are a role model because like I was just talking about, the dad should actually be the role model to his kids, but when you put this shit inside their hand, and they can't take this out their hand, and they sitting there looking at this all day. They can access anything that they want to access.
So that's the problem. These parents let the iPads babysit the kids.
Yeah,
because that should be limited.
I'll give you an example. I have nothing against homosexuality. I have friends who are homosexual.
I'm not against it.
But one day there was a commercial.
It's true though.
One day there was a commercial. And it showed 2 men kissing, right?
Right.
My daughter, now mind you, she's 9 years old. She stood up and looked at me. She said, "Mommy, I love God too much. That is not right. I'm gonna pray for him. I love him, but I'm gonna pray for that man in that commercial."
But you know what though? That starts with how you raised your child.
Exactly.
And you did your job.
Exactly.
You know, even at her young age, you know, she's definitely okay. I know what my mama taught me. I know what the Bible has taught me. I know that that's not. According to our standards, that's not right. You know what I'm saying?
Actually look at back then, it was from the age of newborn to the age of 8 years old that the inside of the house was influencing the person mostly. And then when you left and you went from 9 to 13 to 14, your outside community started influencing you more. Yeah. And from when that age comes from adolescent to a grown person, then you start making your own decisions as a person to actually start looking at yourself as being an individual. So what you're being taught over that lifespan will actually start looking at more of an influence on your life.
Yeah.
That comes with intellectual maturity.
Exactly.
You know.
But now it's even younger because of this right here.
That's very true. Yes. And you know, these kids they're getting so much more advanced because of how much time they're spending looking at that.
Yes.
You know, because there's so much they're absorbing, and a lot of them are overly stimulated. I'll say that because I remember
society is overly stimulated.
Well, I'm also talking about the kids now because what they're taking in of their programming. Like there was actually a study done on CoComelon, which is like the leading children program.
Yeah, my niece be on that.
Yeah, kids who watch that show tend to be more active, tend to be more disobedient, tend to be a little bit more not bucking, but like kind of like least susceptible to. Yeah, there's a study on that. And when I read that study, I'm like, you know what? It makes sense because everything is so bright, colorful, it's so fast, and it's like, okay, where do you stop?
What's the name of
where do you CoComelon? It's like, where do you stop? Where do you breathe at? You know, there's little to no education in it, by the way. There's no education.
Really?
Yes. There's really not. There's the wheels on the bus go round and round song, but like that's literally it. You know, versus like, the other program that I grew up on Nick Jr. You feel me? And by the way, my screen time was limited. My mama didn't let me I had a Game Boy, I had a PS2, and we had cable in the house for a little while. I didn't watch cable a lot, because number one, everything that I watched, and I didn't know this back in the day, everything I watched came on a VHS. And the reason why is because my mama screened everything that I watched. I couldn't watch anything that she didn't know about. Yeah. I think the only show that I watched that she wasn't privy to was Dragon Ball Z, and I'm not gonna stop watching that shit. Anyway, but like back in the day though, my life wasn't about the video game. It wasn't about a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like I read books. Right. If I got out of line, if I didn't want to add a butt whooping, sorry kids. If I didn't want a butt whooping, then I had to copy a whole a whole letter out the dictionary. You know what I'm saying? And be able to use everything in a sentence. If I went to a certain word, a random word, use such and such in a sentence right now. You know what I'm saying? But like my life was rooted in, education.
That's dope.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
That's dope, man. But to kind of piggyback or to kind of go on what Tank was talking about, with the way your brain is influenced at certain ages, right?
Yeah.
I kind of had a thing, man, that I was gonna do. I hadn't done it, man, but I was gonna do to kind of just cause controversy on the internet, right? Talk about how because people be saying how they don't like Cardi B and how Cardi B is responsible for like negative stereotypes and stuff. But I had a thing where I was saying how Mary J. Blige is responsible for Cardi B because Mary J. Blige was, if I'm not mistaken, is from the Bronx, and so is Cardi B. Cardi B said that was her favorite artist. Cardi B was born in 92. Mary J. dropped in 92. But what was Mary J. dropping in 92? It was love, music, and this and that. Well, when
that's my album. Right
you feel me? But what was Cardi B listening to at the age of 8 when her mind was more
beginning to receive the information?
You feel me? What was she listening to? Listen to what Mary J. was dropping. It was nothing but hurt and pain.
Exactly.
So if you were a young kid listening to that, I don't want to be hurt like that.
Right.
So guess what you start doing?
Making money.
You feel me?
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Because that was the answer to that feeling that Mary J. gave her.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
I can see
correlation. That's
I can see that. That's deep though. That's deep. But it goes back to, how much influence celebrities have over people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not just children, adults too. So when it comes down to should we hold the celebrities to a higher standard, I say yes. Because no matter what background you come from, no matter what your upbringing was or what your standards are before you get into the industry, once you step into that role, you are automatically assuming a responsibility to millions of people. Exactly. There are millions of people who held on to DMX's every word. Exactly. There are millions of people who held on to everything that Eazy-E said, Tupac, Biggie, all these people. You know what I'm saying? And not even just hip hop, but like, when jazz was prominent back in the when it began to rise to prominence in the 40s and 50s, you know what I'm saying? Like, it influenced a whole little generation of children. There were so many jazz artists that came up under Miles Davis, people that we wouldn't even know about. You know what I'm saying? And when you see how, and that's music without words. You know what I'm saying? That lifestyle, because you want to know why? Because you look at those people, it's an image of success. Yes. Miles Davis, everywhere he went, had on a suit, a clean ass suit too. Everywhere that John Coltrane went suit on. He had his saxophone case everywhere he went. And black kids, poor kids saw that. I want to be just like that when I grow up. Listen to Quincy Jones talk about that. I saw Lionel Hampton come out of such and such, and I want to be just like him.
Well, I'm with holding celebs to a standard, but I just think it's unrealistic because everybody's standards are different. But as for me, I was ruined by what I seen in the household, not by a celebrity. Yeah. Like, my thing was, I had a very bad view of women growing up. And it was because me growing up, I seen my parents was married, my grandparents were married, my uncles and stuff. All the men I knew were married. But I was always analytical, man, and I paid attention to everything. So one day I seen my auntie. She gets out of a car. She gives this dude a hug and kiss and tell him how much she love him and miss him. Right? They just got through eating and whatever. So she get in the house, and back then cell phones wasn't a thing. Yeah. So she get in the house, and my other auntie says, "Hey, this guy called for you. He been calling for you, looking for you." So she picked up the phone, called the dude back, and was like, "Hey, I miss you. I was out with my mom, took her out to dinner and this and that." So then after she got off the phone with the dude, she tell my girl cousins sitting on the couch, "That's how you do these niggas." And they sitting there just soaking it up. And I'm looking at that, like I say, being an analytical me, I'm thinking this guy going down the street thinking like, I'm the only one. I'm that guy. The dude on the phone thinking, I'm that guy. And she tell him, that's how you do these niggas. And now I'm thinking, my grandpa telling me this is how you supposed to treat a woman. You know what I'm saying? You treat a woman like this and like that. And I'm like, man, they not getting the same game that you telling us. Like, that ain't what they telling them. So then when I get into middle school, I'm seeing the same behavior that I seen that day. I see my cousins that she talked to behaving like the girls that I seen at school. So in my mind, that's how women act. So Paul, whatever you had going on back then, that ain't what's going on no more. They out here on something else, bro. So guess what I'm gonna do? Hey, so guess what I'm gonna do? I'm a survivor. You feel me? Yeah, man. Hey, I'm a survivor, man. Yeah. You ain't about. Hey, I'll be there. What I look like crying? Man, nah, bro. You got me messed up.
I'll never forget the first time I was introduced to that. I was in middle school. I was like 7th grade. It's like when I first started to like notice girls and whatnot. Like I saw one girl kiss somebody at breakfast, and then I saw again at lunch she kissed a whole nother nigga, and then I saw at the end of school. I'm like, wait, what are the 2 other niggas you just kissed? Are they not like around to see this shit? Because like
I gotta look at it.
Because we in the same. This is Oldham Academy. It ain't that big of a campus. Like like and we all in the same grade. I know these niggas gotta like either see it or hear about it. You know what I'm saying? And like the crazy part is. This went on for a while, and like I talked to one of them.
It was polyamorous.
That wasn't it. She was just sneaky. So like
she did it like she was being
she tried
to.
She tried to like, well, maybe nah. Number one, we're 7th grade. We can't even spell polyamorous. So like, I talked to one of the dudes. I'm like, hey, so like, how you an old girl, bro? He was like, oh man, everything is lovely, man. She. Yeah, I'm like.
No, look, I'm gonna tell you.
I didn't say nothing to the dude. I was like, all right, so like, let me see where your head's at. And his head was like all wrapped up in her. I was like, you poor child.
Show you something that's crazy, right? So, and I'm not excusing nothing that R. Kelly did, but I'm just trying to get to a point here. So when I was in high school, I used to look at these chicks. They dating or call themselves dating girls, dating guys. Grown men, and bragging about it. So then the R. Kelly thing happened, right? I see women that I went to school with. They used to bashing them, but they were the ones that was dating these grown men. They thought, yeah, he did it because I knew guys that you used to brag about this. What happened?
You 17, he 27.
Yeah, what happened?
Honestly, we were not at the age to make that decision at that time.
What?
My thing is that came up inside the house. I don't condone anything that R. Kelly did. I said he should have been locked up when that little thing came out. All together before all this shit came about, before he became a Hurricane 10, everything down in his path. He should have been locked up
long time ago.
All the other stuff that could have actually happened, there would have been any residual damage that came along with it.
Yeah.
Right? But I did bring up the fact that when I was in high school,
they
had dudes that was driving up to the school. And
facts.
you know they were not supposed to be there.
Facts.
You know they were not supposed to be there. And they was up there and these girls were smiling and kikiing and ha-ha and everything else. And it was like, oh, that's my man. But when it happens to your kids, because it's a repeated cycle.
Yeah.
Now it's a problem because you see and you know it's wrong. You knew it was wrong when you was doing it back then. Because your mom and your dad did not know you was messing with a guy that was 23.
And you wouldn't dare tell them. Your parents probably did. But not every parent knew about it. So you cannot sit here and bash that man for what he did because you knew that what he was doing was wrong too. Yeah, he was wrong. Every man that sit here and look at the situation said he should have been locked up.
Yeah.
He should have been locked
up.
But when the money ran out, when the money ran out,
they complained.
But you know what's crazy? I hated how they used that as another way to tear up the black community. It forced black men against black women yet again. Really and it's like, bro, we're not riding for R. Kelly. All we're saying is your reason for hating R. Kelly is because of things that you did that you knew was wrong.
But honestly, that was 20 years ago. So people can grow. Because I was somebody in high school that had a boyfriend that was in his 20s. And my parents knew.
You were 16?
I was 17 and my boyfriend was like 23.
In the state of Texas, 17 is like
that's statutory.
Well, 16
that's still statutory rate.
But now of course know that I always think like, how do my parents even allow that?
Exactly.
But now I think when you grow, when you know better, you do better.
That's right.
So just because we did it 20 years ago doesn't mean that
what I'm saying is the women that I seen, they were upset and mad at R. Kelly because he's guilty because I know guys that did that same thing. What the hell does that have to do with his case? Let him be guilty for something he did.
Because of what he did.
It's just like, I hate the fact that people downgrade his music because of what he did. A lot of these people that downgrade him are here because of the music that he made, because of what he did.
He left so many clues in his music, though.
I was the biggest fan, but I can't.
If you look at some of the most influential people
I didn't cut you off. I'm sorry.
No,
I am so sorry. But listen.
Good.
We literally call this Negro the Pied Piper
Yes.
of the R&B. Do y'all know who the Pied Piper was?
Yes.
Look at the cartoon.
Yes.
All you see is a grown ass man with a flute, and you see a trail of children.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Facts.
Literally, I just pulled it up like a day and a half
Yeah,
ago.
Dog.
It's true.
I remember when I first found out what the hell the Pied Piper was, and I was like, "Wait, ain't that R. Kelly's nickname?" And then you look him up, and you see him with the little mask on and the do rag. I'm like,
yeah, it's true.
and it's a whole black community. First of all, R. Kelly fans will go to the grave supporting R. Kelly.
I was like his last standing fan. I really was. I thought
there's so many
videos
of them
were
still
videos.
standing.
No, I had to. No,
Look, can I be 1,000 with y'all?
What?
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man.
Oh,
I still listen to R. Kelly, especially Screwed and Trout.
I can't.
Say what you.
I can't because I think he's singing about children.
Yes.
I really do. Yeah,
Not, you know why?
I
You know why I don't feel like he's talking about children? Because when I hear it, what he's saying is how I feel about my wife at that moment.
And the way he's saying is how he feels about a 16-year-old.
I'm not talking about him. You still talking about R.
He
Kelly.
wrote the song.
Show me some ID if you.
That's not what we listen. We listen to Hey.
That was in his song.
We listen to Hey DJ. You feel me? We listen to.
Oh,
You
yeah.
feel me? Come on, man. I don't look, bro. I come in my wife that same way. Now we've been married for years. You feel me? That's still how I come at her that same way. You feel me?
I'm
So
sorry, but like
that and doggone Bobby Brown, man, that rock with you.
All the songs.
Okay,
Come on, bro.
Classic, baby.
Come on.
now I will
Don't let that come on. I'm automatically performing. Silly.
Right. Well, I think another part of the issue is that we were raised on rape culture. Like we like our generation.
Yeah.
Our
You gotta
generation
explain
was
that,
raised
bro.
on rape culture.
Explain
Like,
it.
For instance, because this is a discussion me and him will have all the time. We always debating about different topics. Like the instance that if a woman goes to a man's house at 11 p.m., well, you knew what you was going for.
I didn't say 11.
Or whatever time.
10.
no time is acceptable for rape.
No time is acceptable for
Hold on,
rape.
hold on.
But
Let's talk.
or if a woman is dressed in what you may feel is promiscuous, I don't care if I have on some pasties and a
Touch
thong.
me.
Victim
Yeah.
blaming is
Touch
definitely
me.
a thing.
Right.
That's right.
Hold on.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. You
That's
are
right.
right. You are right. Victim blaming is a thing, but there's also a thing called accountability too, bro. Like if I walk around here in doggone blue and orange, you know what I'm saying, dressed like a gang member, then the police stop me for being in the gang area, dressed like a gang member, man, they out here tripping with me, cuz. Really? You know what them same people talking about? Don't touch me just because I'm dressed like this. You know what they gonna say? You shouldn't have been out there dressed like you knew what you was doing.
But like she's saying that the rape culture, I agree with certain things that she say, but I disagree with other things that she say too. But if you look at it the way I see it as a man, because a woman is gonna look at it different, right? So if you look at the women that we talk about and the men that we talk about in that rape culture, so far as their status, hey, you went to this guy's house, let's use Mike Tyson for example, or you use Kobe Bryant for example, right? And you show up at this guy's room at 2 a.m. in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning.
What in the world
you know exactly what you're doing.
Come on, you ain't there to talk.
You know exactly what you're doing.
But like I told you, and I've given you an example. What if I do go over there at 2 a.m. and I do say, oh, I want to go over and smash, and I get there and I change my mind?
Yeah, but
I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm turned out.
Well, maybe
Then leave.
Right, but if they're raping you,
I'm not saying every man has the same willpower, but if you sitting there and you inside of this guy's room and it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all in there drinking and you done got naked and he done got naked and he done put it in, guess what? He's gonna want to continue. Yeah. So you say stop in the middle of this here?
he has to stop.
But he still
He has to
stop.
stop.
I do agree.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I will stop myself. But I'm not saying for every man it's gonna happen that way.
Well,
But
then
look.
you
No, hold on. But you talking about he has to take the consequences. That's irresponsible, bro, because not only do he have to take the consequences, so do the victim.
Thank you.
Why are you putting yourself in a position to like? Come on, man. That's not
I
smart.
don't believe in being, smart.
No, I definitely think you
That's
can make good
that's not
decisions,
smart.
but that doesn't give anybody a right to violate
It
somebody's body.
doesn't, but that doesn't give you the right to put yourself in a position to be in harm's way. Let's be smart about this. Like, come on, man. Like,
I mean,
like,
but if you
why
want to
put your
visit a friend,
What? It's a lot of things that has to be answered though.
Right.
Well, how long have you known this friend?
Well, that's
what
true.
type of friend is it? You feel me? Like you gotta answer some questions,
right.
bro. Like,
So how many incidents come out about the guys that's not famous that this the women that this happened to that's not famous?
I know a couple of stories.
But it doesn't come out the same way that it's come out.
Well, because it's confidential.
Well, it's not going to.
It's not going to come out.
Right,
And also
because these
another
women
reason.
sometimes.
but how many times have you been in a situation where at first everything like you smashing, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start hitting you with that like this. You could take that as okay, stop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But then what if that's something and then next thing you know the legs start shaking?
Yeah. Hey, it goes.
Sometimes that don't mean stop. Sometimes that just mean hold up.
Hold up the conversation.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. As a precaution, if they're saying stop, no, you need to.
Now, if you say stop, I don't care what's going on. I'm stopping.
Yeah,
but I'm saying sometimes you can get caught up in that situation, bro. Because they'll be like, "Well, I was doing it. I was pushing them out. Was you?"
But that's why I say every man doesn't have the same willpower.
That's facts.
I mean, but that's on them because
that's not on them. That's on the whole situation, though.
Well, but still,
because who wins in that situation?
Well, but honestly, as a man, y'all should know that you are going to be held to high standards.
But who wins in this situation?
Wins.
So why put yourself in a position to lose?
But what if you don't think you're putting yourself in a position?
Then you need to be smarter.
Well, come on, man. Hold on.
Okay, so now that's victim blaming.
There are a lot of
that's not victim blaming, bro. It's called being smart, bro.
Hold on, DJ, man. There are a lot of people who have gotten tricked into that kind of thing.
We're not talking about trick. She said you wanted to be there. That ain't being tricked.
Hold on. What if you go into there? What if you go into there and there are certain pretenses in place? We're supposed to be doing this, that, and the third.
That ain't what she said. You changing the argument.
It ain't about what you're saying.
It is about what you said.
Hold on. It's about
because now you're changing the scenario.
Wait a minute. There are different scenarios in this umbrella.
Right. No, it's not.
Yes, there are.
No, it's not. It's like, what are we doing? Did we come over here under the pretense that we were studying, or did you come over here because you want to chill at 2:00 in the morning? Which one is it?
Chill does not mean that.
Which one is it? Did you come over here to chill at 2?
So what if I did come over there to chill at 2?
Okay, now I know the scenario. So okay, so now we came over here to chill at 2. So we got that. So studying isn't an issue. Okay. Right? Okay. So now we know a nigga like me, a player like me, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let you know before you even get over here what's about to transpire.
But you know what?
So you won't
everybody does that.
Well, I'm just saying a player like me. So now it goes into how well do you know this person? Okay. How well do you know this person? Do you know him well enough to where y'all have been in these situations before and everything been all good?
In this one area, and she came into this room, and both of y'all was under the pretense that this is what's gonna go down.
I'm gonna make sure it's understood.
You're not going over to talk and have a conversation.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Okay, so but this is what, and I did not
told you what was open.
Oh my God,
you feel me?
So we had this discussion probably not even a month ago, and I never got an answer from him. If I go over there at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I may be worked up, we may have been sexting and like, oh, yeah, I'm about to give me some. Okay, I got a D appointment. You know, it's all good. Then I go over there and just something isn't right. Something changes. Or I decide, or if I decide I don't want to, or it's
verbalize
it. And then if I vocalize it, and he feel like, no, I told you what it is.
Well, then you know what it is.
That's
a whole different
situation.
That's
right. But no,
if it still occurs though,
right? You're still saying that.
Give me how? It happens all the time.
No, I'm saying that's a different scenario. Like that's that is the definition of rape.
That's
right.
That's a whole different scenario.
But then you don't want to say anything because you're being victim blamed. Well, why were you over there at 2 a.m.?
We changed the whole argument.
Look, no matter what the argument is, rape is rape.
Right,
and it's all punishable.
Exactly.
No, because now you can't say rape is rape because now there's a discrepancy in what's rape.
What's the discrepancy?
Because now you said because she said that you could be smashing and she changed her mind in the middle of smashing, so that's not forcible entry.
It started off consensual.
Okay, but then
once consent leaves, once consent leaves the room, once the word stop is said, all intercourse needs to stop. No matter what your willpower is, no matter how strong you are, it needs to stop.
That we agree on.
Right.
I agree on
and there shouldn't be any victim blaming because that's why there's so many rapes that go unreported.
That's right. Facts.
Because all they're thinking about is, okay, this happened to me last night. I'm traumatized by it because I didn't want this to happen. Now I need to either do something about it or try to move on past it.
I think it'd be because they know they put themselves in a situation
because,
a lot of the time.
Because society is like, well,
right, you whore. Why were you there?
Yeah, if you're scared to run into that level of questioning, you're less inclined to not turn yourself in, but like go to somebody and tell somebody.
Exactly, because you're gonna be judged. Your moral character.
I can't really speak on because I'm not a woman. I don't know what that's like.
The reason why
because I can say if it was me, like, okay, what somebody say. I'm going to the police and tell, but that's me as a male. You feel me? Like I don't know what that's like for a woman. So
they're not gonna do that to males.
But to me, as a man,
it's a whole different.
And I've talked to multiple women, and I talk to you, and I sit here and I listen to you how scared a woman is about putting herself in different situations. If you want to go pump gas in your car at 9 or 10 o'clock at night because you're scared that they got somebody in front of the convenience store that's going to approach you, why would you put yourself in a situation to be alone with a man inside of a room at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Because they've been sliding your DM, telling you
everything. You sliding your DM. Use a better judgment.
I'm with you.
Again, that's victim blaming.
That's not victim blaming.
Yes,
would you recommend that to your daughter? Or would you recommend for her to use better judgment?
I would not. Of course, she needs to use better judgment.
Okay, so then what's the difference?
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
DJ man sitting here telling you about being in a different color in the wrong neighborhood, and you sitting putting yourself in a situation. Why would you put yourself in that situation when you know it's wrong? It's about making better decisions. It's not victim blaming. That's about being a person that's
Facts. We teach each other. We need to teach each other how to make better decisions, how not to put yourself in a position to be victimized.
In a bad position.
That's exactly what we're saying, though. You got to know how to. You have to educate themselves on like how to make smarter decisions because you're gonna find yourself in a victim situation. You feel me? So how about we start teaching these little girls, these young ladies, hey, before you do this. Let's make sure.
You sit here and you teach your kids stranger danger. Don't sit there and accept some candy from some weirdo that's on the street that's telling you to get in the car. What's the difference with sitting there telling your kids, hey, don't go to this person's room at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, and then at the same time, teach your sons that, respect the woman's boundaries. And it doesn't matter even if they are there to wake them in the morning.
Teo says better teach males not to rape. You know why?
Thank you.
You know why? And I only can speak for me.
I don't believe in it.
You know why I don't really teach males? Well, I do. I can't say that I don't teach males not to rape because that's false. I have talked to my son about that same thing about how to behave with a young lady and things like that, right? So you won't get caught in these situations. So it definitely goes both ways. Yes. But I don't know how things work in other communities or with other groups of people. But amongst me and my friends and people that I grew up with, my family, ain't no rapist walking around as a rapist.
We're also bringing up
because you're not gonna make it, bro. You ain't gotta. The best thing you could do is go turn yourself in.
But men can be raped too. I'm not gonna put up all the brothers.
Facts, but as if a man is a rapist around me, it's best he turned himself in because it ain't gonna be nothing to talk about, bro. Like you're not about to keep walking around raping people. I'm gonna be sitting in front of the judge, and you're gonna be in the hospital somewhere at best. That's what that is.
I don't agree with raping on any level.
Yeah.
But
I don't condone rape at all.
I don't agree with people putting themselves in situations where they can actually be a victim.
Facts.
You gotta make smarter decisions as a person.
There are a lot of people though who walk into certain situations not expecting to be raped. You know what I'm saying? They go there under different pretenses. This is what I was trying to talk about before. Because it doesn't just occur at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're by yourself. Sometimes it goes on when you're in a setting where there are people around in other rooms. You're secluded with this person.
We're gonna talk about that, Teo.
Okay.
That's different though. That's what I'm saying.
That's a different scenario.
Yeah, that's a different
scenario. And
scenario.
Teo says most people are raped by people they know.
That's true.
That's true.
Exactly.
I believe that too. And for those people, I feel like you should get life or the death penalty.
But like the situation that y'all talking about, the going alone to the person's house at 2 a.m, that's a very small percentage of the people who do get raped.
Brother, we were just talking about the scenario that was brought up to us. So don't try to sit here.
Well, no,
all
I'm doing.
But I like what he said. He said, "Don't put yourself in scenarios."
I agree. I definitely agree.
For example, earlier, right? I called you and said, "Where did I park?" I was out there by myself, only car.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "We're going up the side and see because Vicky was here." Mm-hmm. I use common sense, right? Well, I don't want to be by myself and be subjected to get robbed or something. Let me go to an area where it's lit, where the cars are.
Right.
So, I mean, you have to use common sense.
You do, but I'm just saying that just because a woman is going to visit a man alone, that doesn't always mean that they are not thinking. They may have fully thought it out. You know, you men know y'all can send your representatives.
Yes.
What?
You know, true.
I mean, that goes two ways. Women send representatives.
But we can sit here and point fingers at each other all day long. But
You know what my representative is? I'm gonna keep it 1,000.
You're also a very small 1% though.
My representative is a bad
example.
My representative is a bad representation of me. I'm gonna give you the worst version of me.
Well, and that's normally opposite. That's normally
I'm gonna give you the
usually
worst
men
version.
come with their best version, then you see the real them, and then women, we come with like, this is as bad as it's gonna get, and then you soften up.
Yes.
You know.
I mean,
You teach your daughters not to be a certain thing, and you also teach your sons how to make better decisions too.
Yeah.
Right? Like me, I have a 22-year-old son. I tell him bring your own protection where you go because you know what, the way I was raised, if you're doing something positive with yourself, that girl can take a pea needle and stick a hole inside their protection and try to trap you because she see what you're gonna be.
That's the NBA. That's true. That's the NFL.
Right.
There's so many different situations that if we point all of them out, you would never be able to sit here and just put blame on one person.
Well, we're not trying to blame. We're just saying that in the situation of rape, no means no. But regardless of what time in the morning
we definitely
or anything like that. That's all we're saying.
Like what that man brought up, like every situation doesn't have to happen at 2:00 in the morning.
There's middle of the day. There's early morning. It doesn't really matter what time of day it is. If that person is with nefarious intent, it's their mind is made up.
First of all, if you respect me, you're not gonna want me to be at 2 in the morning anyway.
Right.
That part.
I'm just saying.
So I do agree with you. Yeah. Don't put yourself in a situation. Make better decisions as a woman. However, that little sliver of the percentage of it is like people who get raped. It's so small. It's so infinitesimal.
Right.
So it's like the vast majority of the people who get raped by uncles, stepfathers.
I'm gonna keep it one. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all, bro. I do feel like that it's a lot of rape. It's a lot of rape victims that hadn't came forward.
Yeah, definitely.
You feel me? And I don't condone rape, but I also feel like it's a lot of people that are locked up for rape that didn't rape someone.
Yeah.
And I feel like that because this don't victimize. What you said? The victim victim blaming. I feel like guys, it's like that's one of the worst things you could get blamed for.
Right.
Because you have to prove your innocence. You don't have to. They don't have to prove that you're guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You feel
even if this goes to trial and you win, there's no guarantee that that whole red scarlet letter is gonna be off you.
And then let's say it was a situation where you smash and she said stop, and then you stop, and then she leave, and later on say that you didn't stop.
That's right.
How can you prove that you did?
No, you can't.
Right.
Because it's gonna be signs that you did have sex with.
Right.
That y'all were in the same place together.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How can you prove your innocence?
No, you can't.
You can't.
Sure.
Somebody has to come along and help your case and say that I knew that she was gonna do that.
And not to make this about race, but there are a lot of white women who have slept with black men and they got caught, and then now they holler and rape.
I mean,
that's not even
that's not even that's just.
It's funny you brought that up.
Yeah.
I had a situation at work, right? Maybe 9 years ago, I was a GF, a general foreman for a contracting company. They had this girl that was hoe watching for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Caucasian girl, right? She was crying about some situation that she had going on at home. My job is to make sure that everybody that's on that job site is okay, because if you're not okay, you become a liability to the company.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? So if you hurt yourself while you're on the job, then you're gonna actually try to file a case, right?
That's correct.
I went over there and I talked to her and I asked her to make sure everything was all right. She asked me, hey, could you give me a hug? I put my arm around her just like to say and told her everything's gonna be okay. I stepped away from the situation, right? Mm-hmm. She went back and told the guys that was over me that I actually tried to touch her in a certain way that was not comfortable to her. Right? About 2 weeks later, after my investigation was going on, the safety man that was on the job site said that she was actually coming on to him, which actually brought the attention off of me because she was in the wrong.
Yeah.
So women do things to men. That's not right.
Yeah, very much so.
Right.
All the time.
Very
All the time.
It goes back to what your stance is.
Fact.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you said, how do you prove yourself being innocent?
That's it. Bro, I got a cousin that went to Pathways because he got into an argument with a girl at school, and he said, "Don't make me get in your ass." And she said that was sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he got sent to Pathways.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody know what in the world he was talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I'm like,
the
bro,
sentence itself is violent, but he wasn't talking about nothing physical.
You feel me?
Right.
Which we know that. But like when you bring that to like, the proper authority, they ain't gonna see it that way.
Of course not.
And
Everything
that's
you say is at face value.
That's right.
And that's my point with the whole rape thing. It's wrong, but I just say that we should look at things case by case instead of just automatically assuming that one thing is one way. You know what I'm saying? Whether it is that, okay, well, I just assume he raped her, I assume that she's playing the victim. We got to stop looking at things and just going off emotion. I've been in this situation before, so yeah, that has to be that. Like, come on, bro. Like, look at the situation because people lie.
All the time.
All the time.
True.
And it don't matter what for.
It really don't.
But everyone accused of rape is not found guilty. I actually served on a jury in Jefferson County years ago. And honestly, they put the woman under so much scrutiny, which I see why most women don't report
It's like you
it.
just cannot let it go. You just got to just find a way to make the woman the victim.
They do put the woman under a lot of scrutiny. I will add this, though, for your viewers, and I'll try to make it quick, because I want to say you mentioned something about drinking. I had a friend, him and this woman were like online dating, talking. They, got to know each other online. They even talked about sex prior to meeting online, and they met up in like another city. Both met up somewhere.
That's dangerous.
Right.
They probably already had somebody at home. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were actually, well, I know for sure he was single. I don't know her, but they went out and she had a few drinks, and they'd already discussed sex, but they went back to the room and they ended up having sex. Well, a couple of months later, the police came to his job. She had went and said that.
Oh, dude.
That's why I don't smash on some drunk women.
Right. You have to be careful. If they are drinking, period, they cannot consent.
Ooh.
They cannot legally consent.
And that's crazy to me because if we both drinking, then how can I consent too?
I'm not gonna care. A lot of sex starts with that.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of sex does start with that, and people think it's cool, even if you're not drinking or she's drinking, or you don't. Maybe you both have a couple of drinks. You think, well, we weren't drunk. We just had, a glass of wine. But if they are drinking, they cannot consent.
Appreciate it, David.
I'm glad you said that. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So be careful.
That exactly.
It needs to go both ways. It really does.
It can. But even if you're both drinking, then
some kind of way it becomes the man's responsibility to make sure that
it needs to. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just shouldn't enter. You shouldn't have sex with her if y'all been drinking.
Shouldn't she try not to take advantage of me? Oh, it don't work that way. My bad. I forgot. It's all equal rights until it's time to make a decision.
Well, DJ, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, me and you be some big dudes, so like, who raped us?
Exactly.
Bro, no, I don't feel you because hey, I don't feel you. You know why?
I get it.
You know why I don't feel you? Because if you got any type of rank in the game, you got to watch yourself.
Straight up.
Because hey, you a target.
Yeah.
You feel me? So yeah, man. Like it might not be rape, but it's definitely they could set you up, brother. Just like Chris Brown. That's why I learned that a long time ago. Look, I got two reasons why I don't smash on drunk women. Right? Because for one.
You're married?
Well, I was going to talk about before marriage.
But
it's like,
That'll be the first three.
That part.
Okay, sorry,
it's like, who watches our show don't know I'm married?
He has to have a pass before he has a prison.
Come on, bro.
Go ahead, I'm just messing with you. You know how I am.
It's cool. It's cool. Look, my thing is, I wouldn't smash on drunk women because I don't want them to ever say like, okay, I was under the influence. Mm-hmm. And then for two, I just had this theory that drunk women pee on themselves a little bit. Nasty. I do, bro. I just feel like they get drunk and you know.
Some niggas like that though.
See, nah, bro.
R. Kelly.
No, he does he's the pissy.
Yeah.
Or the pisser.
Look, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm one of the most pickiest people you and me, bro. Like, Jesus. I'm super picky about everything.
But you know what though? Last year though, going back to levels of status and you becoming a target. Chris Brown last year had a case come against him. You see how they turned on him? Yeah, real quick too. Real quick. And it's only because of the issue with Rihanna. He hasn't had an issue since then. Yes.
That is not it. Anytime, let rape come up. Watch how quick.
Well, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but people were so quick to believe it because of his past. It would have been a little less likely to believe. I
agree.
You know what I'm saying? Had the Rihanna thing not transpired.
I don't know, bro.
Because people took to it real quick. And you know what? Here's the worst part.
They turned on Nelly when they said
that
Nelly
too.
Exactly. So Nelly didn't beat on nobody.
But like it was a lot less, and I didn't see like as much with Nelly as I did with Chris Brown. Though the Chris Brown thing was plastered everywhere.
Yeah,
because everyone's like, "Oh, here you go again."
Well, that's because he already offended black women.
That's my point.
So now anything he do, they already he.
That's
guilty.
my point, though. You know what I'm saying? Like my point is, like
he's just really emotional. He's always having outbursts.
Yeah, I don't think Ray Rice did anything wrong. To me,
hold on. Which one is Ray Rice? Ray Rice is not that dude that uppercutted that white woman up.
No, Ray Rice was in the elevator. His wife attacked him.
Yeah,
right. He couldn't get back in the lead. All he did was put his arm up, but his strength, so far as a man, when he pushed himself like this, so she wouldn't hit him, she fell back and hit her head on the elevator.
Oh yeah, I think I agree with you.
I don't know enough about that one. I
don't think he did anything wrong. Yeah, he was just trying to block himself.
Yeah, he tried to block himself. When he blocked himself,
bro, that's because look, I'm telling you, as a black man, we have no leeway for anything.
We don't.
We can't offend. We better not offend nobody. We have to walk on eggshells around everybody. You feel me?
Even ourselves.
Yeah. Even ourselves.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? And I just find it. I don't know, bro. That's crazy to me, man. Because
we're not safe.
Because, like I say, even with our own women, it just feel like they'll turn their back on you like this, bro. As soon as it's an allegation, yep, he did it.
I believe so too.
Yeah, he did it, and then when they come together, bro, it's over with. Oh, when they come together, it's over with, bro. Yeah, but that's.
You mean black women?
Yeah, well, black women, period.
That kind of came from
and that's cool.
Feminism. That's kind of where that started at.
That's cool, but I feel like that's why they use propaganda to keep us against each other.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because they play on the emotions, and like I say, I don't just put it on black women because these young black men are so doggone emotion filled that they play on their emotions too. Mm-hmm. Know what I'm saying? So right now it's just a whole bunch of emotion, negative emotion going through the black community, bro, and it ain't good for nobody. You feel me? Like we only hurting ourselves.
There's a lot of aspects that come into place with that. You said emotions. I believe emotions. I also believe social media too. Everything wasn't so far spread out to the whole world before social media. You don't want to be put on social media and actually look like you are a chump, right? Yeah. So a lot of the emotions come from, hey, what is somebody going to think about me once they see this?
Facts. Yep. That's so true.
It's a lot of play. Especially now, the playing field is very.
My boy Teo say it's not just black males. Hold on, we're gonna pull you up, Teo.
What's going on with the Capro?
So it's not just black males. Males in general are not trusted. I hear that, bro. I hear. Like I got a lot of white friends. I got a lot of friends of all races, right? And I hear that a lot, man, from my white friends, bro. That, like they feel like they get picked on. They feel like they get slandered a lot, you know what I'm saying? And it's just something that opened my eyes to seeing things outside of our own community because I never looked at it like that before. But they were saying how, it's tough for them to be a straight white male. You feel me? They feel like to be a straight white male, man, they feel like it's a hard thing because you can't say certain things or you're gonna get bashed.
I almost said something about that, but I don't want your audience to turn on.
You're right.
I don't want to turn this button. I don't want to turn the conversation on.
That sounds real. White lives matter.
Well, look. I'm gonna tell you why.
Y'all kind of brought this on yourself.
I'm gonna tell you. No, listen. I'm gonna tell you why. I see where they're coming from a little bit, because what you got to realize is what we are used to, everybody isn't used to. So things that we're used to, other people might find painful, but we're so used to it, we don't even realize that that's pain. You feel me?
Right.
I'm gonna just tell you like this, right? And I'm not gonna say where I work, but in the industry that I'm in, we all make a decent amount of money, right? If African American, black man, whatever you want to call us, because some of us don't classify ourselves as African American.
I don't.
Some of us say black man or whatever it is. If we make a mistake, it's highlighted and everybody's everybody's going to try to pinpoint exactly what you did wrong
all day.
If you sit there and you're a Caucasian male, they try to sweep that under the rug. Sweep it under the rug.
Definitely true, David. David says all lives matter, black, white, all lives.
Okay,
we're not talking.
Can I speak on this? When they said Black Lives Matter, audience,
we're not saying that your life don't matter.
Exactly.
Right,
There was talk about Black lives are important because of everything we've been through. So that's why I want to clarify. I can't stand when people say all lives matter. We know that.
The only reason it is even a movement is because for so long Black lives have not mattered.
Thank you.
I mean, oppression, slavery,
you know why?
Rights, discrimination.
You know why I'm not mad when they say all lives matter? Because we need to start acting like Black Lives Matter. I believe in Black Lives Matter for one. I don't like the organization, but I do like the movement. Black Lives Matter. But when you look at it and we going back and forth with our black women, we're not being enough for our kids. We got too many other fires at home to take care of, to be worrying about what somebody else say. Like they don't have no type of bearing on what's going on with us. We affect what's going on with us. Damn what they talking about. Like, what do we say about us? Because right now, all I hear is niggas ain't shit. These hoes ain't this. So what in the hell are we worrying about what the hell the next person's saying? Like, fix how we view each other first.
Well,
I agree with that.
Well, let's pump the brakes on this one for a second, because while I do agree with what you're saying, we do need to hold ourselves to a higher standard in terms of how we treat each other.
That's right.
I do that already. You do that already. I'm more than sure everyone on this panel does that already. And there are a lot of other people, because we're not just so unique that it only applies to us. There are a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that don't.
That's right.
There are a lot of people that don't, but there are also a lot of people that do. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like we can't skip over the people that do, the people who are trying to make a difference, because obviously we have people at the higher level who are trying to make a difference. We have people at the bottom tier who are trying to make a difference. We can't ignore that. But what we also can't ignore is that it's not just words. It's not just violence. It's also an infrastructure set up for us to fail. Every time we set ourselves up for success, it's hard to get to success. First of all, we got to climb up a hill with all types of obstacles. But as soon as we make a mistake, as the whole levee breaks and we fall right back down to the bottom.
Because we're worried about a system that we're not a part of, bro. We're not a part of.
We may not be a part of it.
Check it out. We're not a part of the hierarchy in that system. But we have so much money in the black community. Why in the world are we still trying to play a game we're not invited to?
Exactly.
But when you
I have a rebuttal. So
stop going by the levy.
But I have
we have enough resources, enough money to say why we don't have another Black Wall Street.
Well, because
there's a lot of reasons behind that.
Yes.
You know how many Black Wall Street they try to rebuild and get destroyed?
Did I say
over the years?
Hold on, let's not overtalk each other.
Over the years, there has been other people trying to restart Black Wall Street.
But did I say that they haven't?
But you just asked the question, why haven't there? There's a reason.
No, I said, why isn't there one now? That's what I said. Now.
Why isn't there a Black Panther Party right now?
That's not what I asked you.
But no, it all goes hand in hand.
No, it doesn't,
because it's the same answer to all these questions.
Listen to me. With Black Wall Street, we have enough Black-owned businesses. We have enough money in the Black community to where we can start actually helping each other out.
But we won't.
Exactly. That's the issue. That is the issue. We still walk past our homeless people. We still see people without and laugh and cast judgment. We still have our own issues that we could be doing more, but we won't. But yeah, we rarely talk, well, we can't play in this game because they won't allow us to. Okay, well, make your own game.
Facts.
God dang, like, why in the world you still waiting for a handout?
Right.
Strongly agree.
I just don't believe in it, bro.
Not enough unity.
There's
It's
not.
a different breed.
And I do agree with that. There is not enough unity.
Our
We need to have
generation
more.
couldn't survive as slaves.
So like, I don't have a problem.
No,
I don't have a
Number
problem.
one.
Yeah.
Trying to get in good with the masses.
Yeah, you ready to know
Hey,
that.
look what I did for you,
So
boss.
that's the reason why. That's the reason why I personally could never be racist, because I had white police that looked out for me. I had a white teacher that had my back when all the black teachers turned their back on me. I had black police officers that tried to lock me up for things I didn't do with no evidence. You feel me? So I look at it and I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. And I'm like, bro, we doing all this doggone complaining.
That's right.
Saying how this the bad guy, that's the bad guy. It's like, bro, I know black people that did me dirty too.
Right.
So why not be around like-minded individuals and just start pulling our resources together and building our own everything, bro? And then guess what? Now when we want to get out here and be at the table amongst everybody else, we can sit as equals. And it don't matter if you don't want to give me your food stamps. I got it.
That's right.
I got my own resources, bro. I don't need your help.
That's right.
Yeah, now I'm coming sitting down as an equal. Now we can talk. You feel me? Yeah. Because guess what? If you don't want Kyrie in your league, we got our own league.
Right. Well, you know
what would happen, and not even trying to be racist, right? And I don't want people out there to feel like I'm being racist, but what happened if we withdrew all our black athletes?
There would be no more NBA.
Right.
No more NFL.
Well, I can't say that. I can't say that. I'm not gonna speak.
It's gonna be a bunch of Dirk Nowitzki's walking around here.
Okay, well maybe
they're not gonna be on the same level of Dirk Nowitzki.
Maybe they have people that like that. All I'm saying is, if we had our own, we wouldn't have to talk about Kyrie can't say this and Kyrie can't say that. Now he can say what he feel. Right. As long as it's not disrespecting people, because I don't feel like what he said was disrespectful to anybody.
Well, he didn't really say anything.
He's just retweeted like a movie, right?
Well,
he basically said he can't be anti-Semitic because he's Semitic.
Right. Yeah.
So like I don't feel like that's wrong, because I stopped checking it. I was African American way back in high school. You feel me? Like, you're not gonna just place me in Africa and tell me that I started off as a slave. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because it's too many documents saying that otherwise. You feel me? So if we know that American history is a lie, then how much belief do I really have in American history? So don't be mad at me when I don't subscribe to these titles and stuff you just try throwing around. Like, I know who I am. I know, who my maker is.
That's what I feel too.
So, I don't believe it. I just feel like we get caught up fighting over the small things.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we tackle the big stuff, right, came together on the big stuff, the small stuff wouldn't even matter. Would it even matter? You know what I'm saying? If you had a group of people out there that said we started off as slaves, if we all came together and we was living how we supposed to live.
Right.
That's right.
It only hurt because there's some truth to it. Yeah. It only hurt because we still in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it hurt. It feels different when you get told you ain't nothing and you looking at nothing.
That's right.
Right.
You feel me?
That's real though.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then let's start building up our own community. So now the little boys that come up, the little girls that come up after us don't have to look at nothing. Now they can see the hood and see something.
That's
right.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Sorry, I got a plan. I ain't gonna say it right now. I'm on TV, but I got a plan.
Teo says American history isn't all lies. That's facts. It's not all lies, but it is lies.
This is a very
I might get
white lives matter.
I really might
he's being truthful.
Well, it's not all lies. It's just 90% of it.
I might be disliked by a lot of black people about what I'm about to say right now.
Say it.
When they started taking all those statues down, I did not agree with
I didn't either.
They should have left them up.
Facts.
Because for
why?
The simple fact, you got to have a past, something to look back on to realize where you are today.
Yep.
It did happen. It happened.
Facts.
It happened.
Yeah,
and it made us who we are.
It made you who you are. It built character. I hope it did.
And then not only that, it also opens up the door
to
more hatred.
Yeah.
Because if you took ours, you can't have yours either.
That, to me, it's sweeping it under the same rug that you sweep every problem under.
Yeah, it's like
you never addressed it. All you did was took the Band-Aid away and put a patch on it.
That's it. And you really made it worse.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah, because now you see how they had this whole red wave thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're going to get their lick back.
Yeah. Oh, they are. It's coming.
Look, you just said, you got to understand, war and war tactics, right? Mm-hmm. if you're not in a position to make a move that matters, why disturb the top?
Facts. I agree.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
I agree.
we wouldn't be able to handle an all-out assault.
I agree.
You feel me? Like, why disturb the top, bro?
We still
Get
recovering
yourself-
from the stuff
Man,
that happened to us in the 80s.
Have y'all heard that what is that Hughes, Langston Hughes? I am too American.
Mm-hmm.
That poem,
I too am America.
yeah, that poem, man, when he talks about, having to eat in the back and how you grew stronger. Because tomorrow, find it for me, bro. Because tomorrow I'm gonna sit at the table and you'll see how beautiful I've become.
Yeah.
He didn't disturb what was going on when everybody else was eating. He went in the back and ate, did his little push-ups, got himself together. And it wasn't until he got himself together till he let his presence be felt.
Yeah.
Why in the world we making all this doggone noise for nothing? Right now, you know what we are in the black community? We them little bad kids in the back that keep making noise when the people that paying the bills is doing their business in the front. And you disturbing the house.
Exactly.
Keep it down back there. But guess what? If you was back there getting your stuff together, studying,
Let me focus about that.
come on, brother, you would becoming bigger and stronger. So now when you come in the front room, guess what? I'm here too.
That's right.
I'm too American. Go ahead and hit it with him,
So
bro.
Langston Hughes said, I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and become ashamed. I too am America. I love Langston Hughes, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
he's
hard.
so profound.
He hard.
Extremely.
So profound.
Yeah, man. But before we get out of here, man, I just want everybody that's watching to, I don't want y'all to get caught up in a conversation, bro. That's like everybody else said, man. We don't have any issue with, any other race.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like
or gender.
You feel me? I just feel like in all that.
You got to put them all in there.
Yeah.
We talked about them all.
That. I just feel like our community has so much work to do that we really don't have any time.
We don't have no room
to be looking at elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like man, it's easy to find a problem, bro. We need to come together and find a solution, and that's what we do. We've just been focusing on problems for so long. Now it's time to come together, find a solution, and like Joy said, man, it starts, within ourselves first.
Yeah, that's strong and honest words.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I said this a couple of days ago on Facebook. Like, agitation doesn't work anymore. It used to, because Malcolm X got ahead like that, MLK got ahead like that, Stokely Carmichael, Black Panthers. But it stopped working when they realized it's a lot of smoke but no fire for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
But
don't get me wrong.
That's what,
back then, they were prepared to start a fire. You know what I'm saying? Like the Nation of Islam and all those people, they were fully prepared. But like now, all we're doing is we're walking around pointing our fingers at racism, saying, "Hey, it's still here." And like, nigga, we know it's still here. What are you gonna do about it though?
Right.
Because at least the people in the past that diagnosed it had a plan in place.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So when something happened to them, they had you. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I say for example, if you march with Dr. Martin Luther King, or if you demonstrated with Malcolm X and something happened to you, guess what? Everybody that you marching with, everybody that you demonstrating with, they're gonna stop what they're doing, assist you, make sure that you're good. And matter of fact, Malcolm X, y'all seen the movie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They wasn't satisfied until the right, attention was shown to their brother.
That's right.
He was sitting in a jail cell bleeding.
but look, isn't that what they doing with Kyrie Irving
Right now, there's a lot of black people standing up for Kyrie Irving. And
Well,
I definitely agree.
I'm saying like just the Jewish community.
Mm-hmm. Be very careful.
For what? I'm not Kyrie Irving, bro, and I ain't Kanye. Like a fight go with everything I say. You feel me? And I know some Jewish people. You hear me? So it is what it is, man. But anyways, the way that they pull the rug from underneath people, bro, and take your whole livelihood, is basically the same thing what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. They all come together and say, we're not taking, and I'm not personally mad at them. I just wish we would come together and do the same thing. Right.
Honestly, I see why they feel that way, because like when you look at the documentary that Kyrie posted, there were parts of that documentary we're talking about where the Holocaust was a hoax. And
that I don't agree with.
Exactly. I definitely don't agree with that. There are 6 million people who lost their lives, and the people who are attached to those lives are still alive today. Right. So I definitely feel like that's absolutely false. There were millions of people who lost their lives. Yes. However, what if what if you had a white a white person come along and say, slavery was a hoax? We should be just as pissed.
Well, we had a black person come along and tell us.
Yes, I know. But
Yeah.
The outcry wasn't hard enough when he said that, and I think it's because it's one of our own that said it.
Yes,
so we
sir,
kind of
Tayo.
felt like we shouldn't attack him, but I felt like he needed to be held accountable for what he said. And one of the reporters that was in the room did hold him accountable and like checked him on the spot. And we need to all be doing that every time somebody opens up their mouth to say something that's contradictory, the truth that we know. You know what I'm saying?
DJ Man brought that up a little while ago, and a lot of people don't like that word, but accountability is the biggest thing.
Absolutely,
That's right.
absolutely.
You don't hold everybody accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
You actually see a change.
That's
Facts.
right.
Facts.
That's
And
right.
then when you hold yourself accountable.
Totally agree.
Facts.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
need
Yeah,
to look
it's
at yourself before you can look
Right.
at
That's right.
once. Hey, one of my favorite Bible quotes, bro. It starts at home first, and then spread abroad.
That's right.
You feel me? Like, yeah, if you gonna hold somebody accountable, look in the mirror first. Did you
That's
do
right.
it for yourself?
Did
That's
you?
right. That's right.
What are you doing when no one's looking, when it doesn't count?
Come
Come
on.
on,
That's
for
it.
real.
Because truth be told, that's when it does count.
That's when
You
it
know what I'm
counts.
saying? Because anybody can stand in front of anybody and proclaim to be a Christian.
That's
you
right.
see me praying, you see me reading
Appreciate
the
it,
Bible.
baby.
Facts.
What am I doing when I'm at home?
Facts.
Facts.
You feel me?
Right.
The last thing I'll say for the evening,
Yeah,
and
you
this
gotta
is
get out of here.
I know. The last thing I'll say for the evening, this is for the Black community. We've all been looking for a solution. We've been talking about the problems. We're looking for a solution. And it seems like everyone wants a quick fix or a cheat code. I'll give you a cheat code. I saw it on Facebook earlier.
Talk to him.
Discipline.
Mm.
And that's the last thing I'll say.
Look, and I got one more too, bro. Because my cheat code is, this is for me, and this is just for people that believe like I believe. You feel me? Because you're more than welcome to believe what you want. But if you believe in the Bible, you believe in Christ, keep your mind on Jesus. The scripture says, keep your mind on me and I will keep you in perfect peace. You will find yourself in the midst of all the turmoil. It wouldn't even matter to you, bro. Because, it's just crazy how, or it's fascinating how he would give you peace in the midst of the turmoil. Do you know, man, I'm going to say this and we're going to go, bro. But I was homeless.
We said that like 3 times.
I know, man. Look, you like a coaching preacher, bro. You got to get 5
I won't be here for much longer.
But I was homeless for a little while. In my homelessness, I had the most peace I had in my whole time staying in Houston. I was homeless in Houston, and I didn't know anybody. I was away from all my gang members. I was away from all my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was away from everybody. But when I was away, that's when God spoke to me and said, I didn't put you here to destroy you. I needed to get your attention. And he gave me peace the whole time.
And he separated him.
Separate, yeah.
Separate.
Hey, shout out to David Finch for the $5 donation, brother.
For sure, man. But we out of here, y'all. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will be back next week, man. And check out, what's the YouTube channel?
Tank and Vicky Uncensored.
DJ Man, hi.
You feel me? And how can they get in touch with you for
I'm located on 39 North 11th Street, Suite C.
Do you ship your product?
I ship nationwide. www.liveallurbannutrition.com.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all. We out.